All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm Elaine Christian with the City of West Palm Beach Office of Sustainability, and we are so excited to have Chelsea Odom with us today. She is the Director of Education and Artist Relations with Resource Depot, and I can't wait to discuss the ENF campaign. So if you have any questions during the presentation today, please drop them in the chat box and we will have Q&A at the end. And keep in mind, if you like today's program, we have many more scheduled. You can always visit wpb.org/green to view our upcoming programs. And now let's go ahead and transition over to Chelsea.
Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be with you, and I look forward to talking with you about our ENF campaign. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, so our ENF campaign, its abbreviation is ENF. So that stands for enough. And basically we're saying enough is enough is what that stands for. And we're talking about how we can reduce our waste and be more conscious consumers. Resource Depot, if you don't know, I'll talk a little bit about, okay, go to the next slide. My name's Chelsea. Elaine already introduced me. So that's me. And we're going to talk about our ENF campaign. We're going to go over a little bit what Resource Depot is. In case you don't know where we are, we're in West Palm Beach, so we are a resource for all of the community to make use of. We'll talk about our ENF campaign and how we use education to help reduce waste and what you can do as a consumer and part of this community. What is Resource Depot, you ask? We have been around since 1999. We are a nonprofit. We are technically categorized as a creative reuse center, which we are not the only one of our kind. There are other creative reuse centers in the United States and in the world. There is one in Australia. They're like all over the place. We aren't necessarily connected in that we're like a franchise, but we all have the same mission and we approach it in different ways. So we promote and inspire sustainable lifestyles at home, at work, and in the classroom. As I said, we were founded in 1999 by a community of stakeholders, Resource Depot. So we were needed for environmental, sustainable, and affordable materials for art and education, and to promote a lifestyle that reduces waste. So basically, they had a bunch of stuff, and they needed it somewhere to go. They opened Resource Depot, and we house stuff that people don't want. Most people don't want anymore, but it's treasures to others because it's still a valuable resource. And I'll show some examples of what those resources are. At Resource Depot, we believe in education through imagination. We believe in building a more creative and sustainable future, starting with our community. That's you guys. And the most importantly, we believe that we can all be more conscious of what we throw away and the potential of life in our waste. Really, we shouldn't be calling it waste anymore because waste has value. It's only waste when we declare it to be so. Everything can have value, from our poop to old pens and pencils. It all has value. We just have to create the market for it. And we're wasting it if we're not. So there's a couple ways the community can interact with us. They can donate to us, and all of their donations get placed into our little store that we have. We have the materials marketplace where people basically shop by volume. So they pay $10 to fill up a bin or $5 to fill up a bin. And then we also have our treasury boutique where stuff's individually priced, sort of like a normal thrift store. Most of the items that we're getting, some are household, but most of them are geared around creative endeavors, arts, craft things, stuff like that. And then we also have a gallery space. No, I didn't spell it wrong. We did that on purpose. R-E, we're playing with that. And the purpose of our gallery is to showcase local artists and creative people that are upcycling in a manner that isn't typical. So it's kind of raising the bar of what upcycling can be. And we have open calls for exhibitions. We have an open call for junk mail right now. I'll talk about that later. Upstairs, where I currently am residing, is our workshop space. It's our create space. It's where we have workshops, we do lectures, all things like that. Virtual and hopefully more in person in the upcoming future. Normally we do summer camps and we have workshops for children. We are not doing summer camp this summer, but we will be having classes. But they're a lot of fun. We address environmental issues and use upcycled materials, most of which comes from the things donated to us, and getting kids excited about thinking differently about the future. We also partner with other organizations. We have an after-school program that's funded by Primetime and Children's Family Services, which is great. We interact with thousands of kids every year through this program, and the same idea, we're talking to them about environmental issues and upcycling and things they can do differently in the classroom and at home. And if you want to come see us, we are in West Palm Beach on Florida Avenue. We have funky hours, so make sure you check our website. But we are open for you, and so come and make use. And one thing we've been doing over the years, and the city, the sustainability department has been a great partner with us, is we've evolved. At first, we were just about keeping waste from the landfill, and now we're starting about keeping us from being less wasteful as a community. So consuming responsibly, refusing, rethinking. So it's really about thinking how we dispose of our waste, not just, okay, we're trying to keep things out of the landfill. It's like, well, maybe it's not just about the landfill, it's about our mind shift that needs to change as well. One thing that's been very interesting with COVID-19 and the pandemic is that we had environmental studies happening and just visual recognition that from people staying home, from people not driving as much, from people changing their habits, that it had a very visible impact on the environment. We saw it from people's actions. Granted, it was a lot of us doing the same action, but that's just proof that we can have that effect. You know, the world can heal itself, but we have to change our mind and we have to change our actions first. So I think that that was such a great realization for environmentalists and for everyday people, that this could be a turning point if we change our actions now, which is sort of what our ENF campaign is about. So it's a manifesto of social and environmental practices that shift consumer culture from convenience to respect, healing our land and water, as well as our relationship to the planet, is our biggest goal with the ENF campaign. So we're not only about providing these materials that are physical, that can be reused, we're about trying to get this mind shift to happen in the community. Resource Depot, like I said, we're a creative reuse center, consumer education. It's not just about saving the environment, it's about saving us. We are dangerously close to destroying our own life support system because our culture of convenience is not heeding the consequences. We all want things to be easy and quick and fast because our lives are that way. And I think, if anything, the recent culture has shown us that we need to slow down and we need to reevaluate what's important to us. Every day we don't change is another day. We are harming our land and oceans, its planets, animals, and each other, because we all live here. Catastrophic consumerism. On a daily basis, the United States produces enough trash to fill 63,000 garbage trucks, which is a lot. One of the videos I have for kids talks about how it can circle the planet 3 times or something crazy. So here's some just fun facts as to why we should change our minds. In a lifetime, the average American will leave a legacy of 90,000 pounds of trash for future generations. It doesn't just disappear. Annually, more than 14 billion pounds of garbage is dumped into the world's oceans, mainly marine life, and it's often toxic plastic. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, food and food packaging materials make up almost half of all municipal solid waste. That's half of the trash that we're throwing away is food packaging. Every year, over 5 million tons of electronic waste, that means cell phones, computers, TVs, is created. That is a lot of waste, and there are precious metals, precious resources in those small electronics that we want to update every couple of years. It takes about 660 gallons of water to make just one cotton t-shirt, one shirt. The average American buys 64 items of clothing a year. So this is addressing a couple of different areas. It's addressing food, it's addressing trash in general, plastic, electronics, water usage, clothes. We have consumer problems in every area of our lives that we could work to address. I don't always agree with this chart, but I think it's a fun way to think about things. How long until it's gone? The idea that if you were to throw something on the ground and leave it alone, how long does it take to decompose? An apple core, about 2 months. A cigarette butt, about 1 to 5 years. I've even seen up to 7 on some scientists' charts. A foam buoy, 50 years. And styrofoam is so toxic when it starts to disintegrate and decompose. Now, the one I disagree with the most on this chart is probably plastic. It's like 50 years, things like that, 450 years. Scientists believe that it doesn't really break down, that it just gets smaller and smaller. It's not integrating into the environment like the apple core does and benefiting anything anyway. But it's just interesting to think about. And glass is undetermined because essentially when glasses break down, because it's formed from sand, it turns into sand again in potential. So another thing to think about outside of changing our habits is making sure that we're not throwing things on the ground or that we're disposing things in a proper manner so they don't end up in our ecosystems, in our environments. So having garbage cans with lids, stuff like that. This is a chart from the Ocean Conservancy, and they're all about trying to track what items they pick up and how much. You can see the number 1 item is cigarette butts. It's a small item, but when you get that many cigarette butts picked up, that's a lot. So most of these items are also single use. So they could have been avoided being used and then in turn ending up where they shouldn't be. So I'm going to start because, oh, that's horrible. Okay, so deep breath. This is what we can do. Some of it involves buying things. So we're not anti-consumerism. We want people to spend money in the economy, and we want people to enjoy things and still live the lives that they want to live. But there are some things that could be bought and adjusted to help you live that way. So I have some pictures here. There's, I'll start from the left and I'll work my way to the right. There's this little stashers. They make these out of silicone. They're reusable, they're washable, dishwasher safe, and they're basically replacing Ziploc bags. They're a little pricey, but if you buy them, you potentially don't need to buy plastic bags again. And they're super great. Some people make their own with fabric and stuff, so you don't want to buy those. There's other ways that you can stop using Ziploc bags. Another one, diapers. I do a diaper math challenge with students. So if you have children or adult children, they make cloth diapers. It was something we used to do, and then we stopped doing it because our lives got so busy and mom started working and they needed disposable things, and we created this and it created convenience. But it's creating over 10,000 diapers per child a year, or that's within their lifespan of wearing diapers, which is typically 3 years. 10,000 for one kid. So if we could reduce that waste by using reusable diapers, cloth diapers, that's significant. There's a water waste argument with cloth diapers, but we have to pick our battles. Also, drinking cups, whether it's coffee or you like juice or whatever, you can travel, you can bring those to places, they'll fill them up for you, and you don't need the paper or the plastic or whatever it is they're providing. It's a very simple one. Sometimes even when I travel, I take an empty one with me so that when I'm traveling, I can have that still. Reusable water bottles are the biggest pet peeve of mine. Please use them. Water bottles. Why are we paying to drink water? Either way, we're paying to drink water, but like, why do we need to pay to house a container to drink water? Just take it with you. It will instantly reduce your impact on the earth. Because just because you recycle your plastic bottles does not make it better. Reusable shopping bags, another really easy one. Everybody forgets though, I get it, I forget. And this is what I talk about all day. So I get it, but the average person uses a plastic bag for 5 minutes and then it's gone. So is that really worth the amount of materials that we're sourcing from the earth to generate it, and then it just gets tossed? If you're lucky, people recycle them. Another thing not to think about is produce bags, because those are also made of plastic. Some grocery stores have switched to the compostable ones, but you can bring your own produce bags, and guess what? They'll still check you out the same way. As long as the bags are see-through, they can see what vegetables are inside of them. It's another way to reduce your impact. And you just throw them in your reusable bags and you take it all to the grocery store with you. So this is a weird one, but Q-tips. Lots of people use them to apply makeup, to clean ears, whatever. They make reusable ones so you can like clean them off and reuse them, because that little stick, if you're not buying the paper ones, is plastic. And that is a big item that ends up in our environment. So why not reuse them? Reusable cutlery, that includes straws, knives, forks, chopsticks, whatever. You could travel with them in your purse. They're super lightweight. You can clean them and you don't need to use anything plastic. Super easy, super simple. So we mentioned that one statistic about food packaging. If you can avoid buying plastically packaged items, please. It's hard. Going to the grocery store is difficult. If you can go to a produce stand or a farmer's market, or buy one apple at a time, and you just end up buying 6 anyways that just aren't in a package. And not just produce, thinking about salad dressings, chips, however you buy things, rice. Maybe you can buy bigger packages of rice, or go to the store where you can scoop it out into your own containers. There's other ways to avoid mass amounts of packaging that are just unnecessary. An apple already has a packaging. That's what its skin is for. And you can eat it. So try and avoid your packaging. Also, if you have the ability to compost, that reduces your waste that you're putting out on the curb, and you get free soil. So that's a plus. There are some organizations that will come and get your food waste. There's some worm people and things too, if you don't have space to compost, because I get not everyone has space. So some other products in your home. If you are a lady watching this, there are some lovely products that you can use that are not disposable. I know it sounds nasty, but they make reusable pads. They make reusable cups that you can use instead of tampons. And you find the right one that works for you, and they work great. And you save money. So I highly recommend it. Beauty products, that was my #1 area that I was really trying to cut out my plastic intake. A bottle of shampoo, bottle of liquid soap. There's all these lotions, all these things that are covered in plastic. Lush is a great company. They make bar soaps and shampoos and conditioners, but lots of other people are doing it now. It's not just them. You can even buy solid deodorants that don't come in packaging. There's a lot of ways you can reduce your waste in that area. Food packaging, again, buy in bulk, store in nice tight containers to reduce your food waste as well. Americans throw away so much food that could be saved. So storing things in better containers, traveling with containers that are reusable instead of disposable things. Cleaning products. I have a great book. It's called, it's like vinegar, baking soda, and salt, and lemons. And that's all you need to clean. Yes, I still buy bleach occasionally, but most of your cleaning products can be fine with those simple materials, and you can make your own with a squirt gun you refill. You don't need to buy those cleaning supplies housed in plastic that are horrible for you. Also, paper towels. If you cut up your old rags, your cleaning material right there. You don't need paper towels. Or cloth napkins, that's a big one. Handkerchiefs are coming back also. Razors. Plastic razors are horrible. There are some wonderful companies, one of which is Leaf, which is the picture I have featured. And it's actually 3 blades, and all you're replacing are the blades. That's it. Everything else is made out of metal and should last you a very long time. Such an easy way to reduce your waste. Toothbrushes, another plastic item. while we reuse it, we eventually throw it away. So why not try some that are bamboo or made out of recycled material? They make dental floss that doesn't come in plastic packaging. They make mouthwash that comes in tabs and no longer plastic. They make toothpaste that you can buy in glass that's powdered, all sorts of forms. There's a lot of things you can do in your beauty, in your kitchen, your bathroom that reduce your plastic intake. And those are tiny little shifts. And they don't take that much effort. You still buy something, you're buying something anyways. We need to stop buying stuff we don't need. Be thoughtful with the gifts that you give. Don't just give people a silly gift because it's funny. Make gifts out of stuff you already have. Like, do you need that thing that just sits on a shelf? I don't know, maybe you don't. Think about what you're buying. Also, if you're gonna buy stuff, which you should buy stuff, buy used first. And that's one of our biggest mottos. Come here before you go to Michael's and get the stuff you need. And if you don't find what you need from us, then you can go to Michael's. So buy used, donate stuff you no longer want. Borrow and lend. You got neighbors, you got friends, they have a tool you need. Maybe you don't need to buy it because you only need it once. Maybe you can borrow it or lend it to other people. Trading stuff. Oh, my neighbor has this and I have this, and you can trade things. Fix and repair. It's a costly thing, but it's something that we could all do. Also, I love this quote by Patagonia because clothes is a big waste area. We throw away so much clothing and we buy so much clothing. The most environmentally sustainable jacket is the one that already is in your closet. Maybe you don't need the latest fashion trend. Maybe the jacket you have for the past 10 years is still a good jacket. Also, this picture has all women in it, but this can be applied to men as well. Figuring out how many clothes you need for your lifestyle, and then also, is there a way that you can take the same article of clothing and wear it multiple ways to make it look like you have a lot of clothing, so that people don't think you're wearing the same thing all the time. Accessorizing with a jacket, a scarf, different jewelry, adding something to a skirt versus pants, different kinds of shoes. There's lots of ways you can wear the same article of clothing, and it reduces how many clothes you need in your closet. Also upcycling, which is basically what Resource Depot is all about, reuse. You don't have to be a master seamstress to know how to upcycle clothing. It can involve paint, glue, all sorts of stuff. So keep that in mind. Another thing to think about is all the clothes that we buy, everything that we do has an impact beyond just the purchase that we've made. Try and wash your clothes less and wear them more so that we reduce the amount of microfibers that are going through the water system, and it prolongs the life of your clothing. Use natural detergents, because guess what? All the soap, all the detergents, all the cleaners are going into our water streams. So let's think about what we're putting down there. You can also buy mesh bags and microplastic catchers for your laundry as well, to keep microplastics out of the water stream. And this is where Elaine and the sustainability department come in handy. They're all about trying to reduce your waste within your home and your living and daily life. Solar power, fix leaky stuff, whether it's water or air leaks. Turn off lights, electronics, update your water. If you are already replacing appliances, get ones that are water and energy efficient. And also adjust how you use water, like turn off when you brush your teeth. Take different types of showers, shorter showers. Your city can totally help you make those changes in your house or give you suggestions. Also, some FPL electrical companies, so look them up, use them as a resource. And the biggest thing, the power is in your pocketbook, how you spend your money. Companies pay attention. So if you choose glass over plastic, or no packaging over packaging, or an eco brand versus a not eco brand, companies pay attention because they want your money. So spend it wisely. Also, you can donate funds and time to organizations that are working to better those areas. Whether it's the fashion industry, the food waste industry, there's organizations that are trying to do better. And if you want to help, you can give them your money or your time. And your spending power. Do your research, buy stuff that's of quality so you don't have to rebuy it. And there's people that already do your research for you. There's apps that tell you eco brands that are either doing great things for the environment, humanitarian efforts. There's people that already researched it and you can just go look at it. You don't even have to do the research. Buy Me Once is a great resource. They're all about buying quality items. 1 Zero Waste is a local store, and they sell things that are about less waste. Go check them out. Also, be creative. Reuse stuff. Innovate. Rethink. Make stuff out of stuff that's already in your house. Also, I'm getting towards the end. No one is perfect. Doing something is better than doing nothing. Make one change. Pick one thing that works for your lifestyle that you can adjust in your life. It's not all going to happen at once. You got to start somewhere, and now's the perfect time to start. Pick one thing, whether it's changing your toothbrush or changing the shampoo you buy, whatever. It's one simple thing, and we've seen that that action can make a difference, especially if you start talking to your friends and being like, I use this great product, and then they start using it. It makes a difference, and no one's perfect. And figure out what is enough for you. What is enough in your life, stuff-wise, time, work. There's so many ways that could be applied. We're talking about stuff, and we need to change our minds. We need to set these goals, and it starts with you guys, and it can start right now. And please share with your friends and just get them to also think differently. So, to review, you can become a conscious consumer. You can buy secondhand first. Refuse, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Take the ENF pledge. It's on our website. And share the ENF lifestyle with friends, especially friends that don't do it. We have a playbook on our website that you can download with more helpful hints. We are working to get a map that will show where you can reuse things and recycle things throughout our county. So hopefully that will come out soon. Also check out our virtual resources, which shows ways to upcycle. And if you want to take part in some things we have going on, we have a virtual scavenger hunt that will happen this summer for families to participate in. You can win prizes and fun stuff. We also have junk mail coming up. Our deadline is Saturday, but you could still apply. The work isn't due until June 4th, and it's all about mail art. So you can send us upcycled art through the mail. You can follow us on social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I have a minute left.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. I don't know, do we have any questions from the audience? I see a comment about Primal Life Organic Stick Up Deodorant, and I have not heard of that one. I'm gonna have to check it out.
That one sounds good. Yeah, they come in they're like push pops. So they come in a cardboard tube and you just push them up with your finger. I haven't heard that brand, but there's another brand I've used that's similar. Yeah, they're like push pops from the ice cream truck, but deodorant.
That makes deodorant a little bit more fun.
Yeah, I don't think they're fun colors, but.
And the shampoo bars too, if anyone hasn't checked those out before, I mean, really, really cool stuff. I was really hesitant to try them at first, but because I was like, what is this bar gonna do for my hair? But I mean, I was shocked at how well it works. And there are, I got mine from Lush, but of course there are other businesses out there that make them and sell them. But I mean, it's so easy to travel with stuff like that too. You don't have to carry those big old plastic bottles around that are heavy. I mean, it's crazy.
You don't have to worry about the liquid limitation thing.
That's true. That is very true.
My fiance loves the bar soap. So
yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that men can use it too. It's not just for women.
Same with razors. They make men razors that are these all, there's a lot of stuff. I'm a woman and I'm probably talking to mainly women, but it works for all genders.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't see any questions coming in. So thank you all for joining us today. And thank you again, Chelsea. This is a lot of great information. I will post the recording to our YouTube channel. So if anyone wants to rewatch it or share it with friends, it'll also be on our social media pages too. We'll share it there. So with that, I hope everyone has a great rest of your day and a great weekend too.
Thank you so much, Elaine.
Thank you. Bye.